right, so you can see we've got the patio all laid. The last step that I showed you was brooming and kind of sweeping the sand in between the cracks. Again, we use that polymeric sand, and so according to the directions on there, you kind of mist it down, and you do that a couple of times, and what that does is that just serves to set the sand in between your bricks. And I'm thrilled with how it turned out. I think it looks pretty good. It'll be a lot of fun. What we want to do now is show you how to do the fire pit. The material that I'm going to be using for the fire pit, just went down to Lowe's and I got some of these retaining block walls. The ones that we went with are a little bit smaller. This is an 8-inch block. You can also get a 12-inch block, and then there's even up to a 16-inch block down there in this model. They have tons of options to choose from, but these are the ones that we went with. We've kind of got this around our yard, the bigger blocks that we thought would look pretty good if we could match it up. We also picked a color. The patio itself is charcoal and tan. These blocks are tan. So you can see as I lay these down, gives it a nice contrast. I think it's going to look pretty good. One thing to mention that I had to learn the hard way, well, I went down to Lowe's and asked them about it after I couldn't build the circle. On these blocks, on this particular one, there's a 1/4-inch lip on one side. These are designed as retaining wall blocks, and so they have that lip on there, so as you build your retaining wall, you should lock that lip into the back. And you can see that as you stack those one on top of the other, what that does is that makes the second row actually narrower than the bottom row, than the row below it. And so that didn't work as I was trying to lay it into a complete circle. I went down to Lowe's and I asked them about it. I said, hey, did I get the wrong block? And they said, no, you just break that off. And to me, I was like, oh, that sounds like a lot of work. However, I just wanted to show you real quick, it's actually pretty easy to do. I'm going to put my safety goggles on. I learned the hard way that that's kind of important that you put those on before you do this. But this 1/4-inch lip back here, it's actually designed to just chip away pretty easily. You'll see that it is kind of messy. I did all my other blocks out on my driveway, so I didn't get the patio all messy. But you can see as you just kind of flake that away, kind of grind it a little bit, you can see that does flake off pretty easily on the back of there. And now we can stack those bricks one right on top of the other, and it will stay even, okay? And so the next step in this is to come on over this way, and you'll see that I kind of laid out a couple of different options just to demonstrate and show you what's available with these 8-inch blocks. This is about the smallest diameter that you can lay. This is 12 blocks in diameter, 12 blocks in circumference. The diameter on it was 23 inches inside measurements. And so that's a little bit smaller than what we wanted. What I did is I just kind of pushed the circle out a little bit wider, kind of spaced the bricks out. I added a few more bricks. This is the one that I decided to go with. This patio is actually 15 blocks in circumference. The diameter on this was about 32. And so you see that it gives us a little bit bigger fire pit. All that does is creates a little space in your joints on the back side. You want to leave your front side joints nice and tight. To put it together, it's actually really cool. They have this, it's called landscape adhesive. And it's engineered specifically for block, bricks, stone, timber, landscape construction adhesive. What I'm going to do is we'll just put that into my caulking gun, and then we'll go put a bead of caulk or of the landscape adhesive down on the patio, lay my bricks on top of that, and then just make sure that you glue in between each level as you go up. As far as the design on the patio, on the fire pit, you can see that I've got my bottom layer down. As I lay concentric layers on top of that, I want to make sure that I stagger it just a little bit. And so what I've been trying to do is use this joint line right here as kind of the center for my next row on top of it. And you can see what that does is kind of creates a cool pattern here in the front. We'll just lay another layer of it real quick. Something like that. And ours is actually going to be about 4 of these brick levels high. And so it's going to look something like that when it's all done. Again, I want to put glue between each layer as I go up. to mark where I want this to go to make sure it looks nice and neat on my patio, what I've done over here is I got some twine. Well, first of all, I measured the center of my patio and I marked it. How I did that is I got a tape measure and I went from corner to corner and I got those measurements, again making sure that they're even, ensures a nice rectangle pattern. I got those measurements, divide by 2, where those lines cross, there's the center of your patio. So you can see mine's about right here. I then cut a piece of string according to the radius of my circle. So this is a 16-inch string. Went and borrowed some chalk from my kids, and now all I've got to do is hold this chalk to the end of my twine, maybe put that right on the center mark that I've made here, and then I've just got a circle that I'll draw right around here. As I make that whole circle, that'll be the inside edge of my patio. That'll give me a nice mark that I can lay my fire pit according to that circle right there. So I'll go ahead and I'll get that done, and then we'll pick it up again. All right, so we got the brick all laid earlier today. You can see that the fire pit is in place and that the project is actually finished. This glue, it was actually pretty cool stuff. It was the first time that I'd ever really used it before, but you can see that, I mean, it is solid. It's not going anywhere. And so that really concludes our project, you know, between the patio and the fire pit. I'm pretty excited about the way that it turned out. And so my wife and I were joking around earlier, there's only one thing left to do, and that's go grab the marshmallows. I guess the matches. We'll go grab the matches and the marshmallows. I'd like to thank Lowe's for all their help in this project. They were a great resource, both for material and for knowledge. I appreciate their help from the staff. For downloadable directions for, you know, a step-by-step process of the patio and the fire pit, please visit us at sixsistersstuff.com, and hope you have a great summer. I gotta go get some marshmallows.